Dave Bjorkman. 1917, West Royal Way Northwest. Edmonton, Alberta T5S1T6. 780-716-5901. davevjbjorkman@gmail.com. July 11, 2021. Governor General Mary Simon. Rideau Hall. 1 Sussex Drive. Ottawa, Ontario K1A0A1. 61399382000. info@gg.ca. messages@gg.ca. media relations@gg.ca. cc. Kareem Khan, Prosecutor, ICC. otp.informationdesk@icc-cpi.int. P5 UNSC. Vladimir Putin, Vasily Alexeyevich Nebenzaya. Joe Biden, Linda Thomas Greenfield. Xi Jinping, Zhang Jun. Boris Johnson, Barbara Woodward. Emmanuel Macron, Nicolas de Riviere. Emails withheld for public disclosure. Jody Wilson-Raybould. jody.wilson-raybould@parle.gc.ca. Mumalak Kaktik. mumilaq.qaqq@parle.gc.ca. Roseanne Archibald, National Chief. Lelies@afn.ca. K. Reid@afn.ca. J. Young Castro @afn.ca. Dear Governor General Mary Simon and CC parties attached. My name is Dave Bjorkman, and we the 1,700 sons and daughters of Canada, and the First Peoples are writing you today to outline the official constitutional powers of Governor General as they really are. Canada is built out of the pre-League of Nations colonial system that was abolished by King George VI in 1941 through his Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill. This is reinforced by Joseph Stalin and Teddy Roosevelt in 1941 through the Atlantic Charter, completed in Newfoundland, as well as the Moscow Conference Joint Statement August 16, 1942. Vladimir Putin has not removed his international commitments from the Russian Federation's constitution, and both Boris Johnson and Joe Biden re-sign and update the Atlantic Charter 1941 on June 22, 2021 at the G7 conference. The post-World 1945 United Nations, the entire world voted for and joined, gives the full rights to international law binding on every UN state to the P5, China, Russia, USA, UK and France. Today we present to you and the 5 powers over international binding law, the absolute constitutional powers you possess in Canada's Crown Colonial Constitutional Monarchy. We will also be providing you with their absolute law of sovereignty, self-determination and freedom from tyranny up to and including genocide. A detailed look at the Indian Act, a genocide perpetrated by all elected federal and provincial governments post-1952 until today. The constitutional powers of Governor General Mary Simon. Swearing into office the Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers and the Chief Justice of Canada. Summoning, proroguing and dissolving Parliament. Delivering the speech from the throne. Granting royal assent to Acts of Parliament. Appointing members of the Privy Council, Lieutenant Governors and certain judges on the advice of the Prime Minister and signing into effect official documents, such as orders in council. To be clear, Mary, you are a first-class citizen defined in colonialism as one of 3 of the following. Wealthy citizen 1% you. Personal friend of the PM you. Famous Canadian you. Sworn allegiance to you directly in Canada. The military entirely. The police services entirely. All public servants elected/appointed/hired entirely. The bar in Canada/regions entirely. All justices federally and the highest court justices, supreme, entirely. The Privy Council, you can overrule entirely. All lieutenant governors in Canada. The entire appointed upper house, the Senate. Your constitutional powers enforceable. Block all acts or bills in Parliament. Force Chief Justice and the Supreme Court to follow your directions as per every act and bill in Canada. Force any legislation you wish outside of formal democracy, the powers of Section 91. Dismiss/appoint any justice you like federally. The limits of your Crown colonial powers. Prime Minister-elect can remove/terminate you after 30 days written notice. Queen Elizabeth II is forbidden from refusing the Prime Minister of Canada, who is officially Queen of Canada, Section 91. This also includes the 13 Little Crowns, Queens of the Regions, officially the Premiers under Section 92. Lieutenant governors sworn to you can be removed following your removal by Prime Minister or newly appointed Governor General, 30 days plus 30 days. The Indian Act of 1876 and Inuit Arctic Council of USA, Russia, and Canada treaties shows a colonial breach of American and Russian binding laws on the UN state of Canada post-1941, 1945, 1948, 1952, and again 1960, 2021 onward until present day. This is occurring at the municipal, provincial, territorial, and federal levels, gaining in severity of breaches since 1941. Today, we the 1,700 signatory sons and daughters of Canada, and the First Peoples come to you for the justice removed from the colonial outlawed institution of Canada, and ask you to use your constitutional power in violation of the Prime Minister to order the Supreme Court of Canada to hear our case, and rule the following. The Supreme Court of Canada is requesting that ICC, with the approval of the P5, is to take over the investigation of Indian Act residential school children's genocide. Canadian taxpayers will fund the ICC, and the Canadian military will assist the blue helmets provided by the P5. Upon a completed investigation and subsequent convictions, the guilty parties will be held financially liable, and their total assets and financial wealth will be used to repatriate all taxpayers' commitments, and the First Nations/Métis/Inuit victims of genocide. The Catholic Church, specifically the Vatican, will not be included in the ICC recommendation, but placed in Canadian courts, post-ICC convictions focused on the Canadian/regional governments. Thank you, Governor General Mary Simon, and should you ignore this letter, we the 1,700 plus sons and daughters of Canada, and the First Peoples will continue on with the P5 UNSC. We have already won Jong Jun's support, and he presented June 28, 2021 live on the UNSC's Day of Children's Genocide. This is Canada's last chance to do the right thing, and end colonialism once and for all. Please see all attached material no Canadian has ever seen before, backed up by the Allies, P5 UNSC permanent representatives. Sincerely, Dave Bjorkman, and the 1,700 plus sons and daughters of Canada, and the First Peoples. Only 1,000 signatures can be fit into the document.